Mrs. Stultz again. So today we got a package delivered at my house and it had some dry ice in it. And I thought it would be fun to try some dry ice things. Now dry ice is just carbon dioxide. That is the same gas that we breathe out. You know, we inhale oxygen, we exhale carbon dioxide. Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide. Now the cool thing about dry ice is that its average temperature is negative 109.3 degrees Fahrenheit. Now freezing is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, but this is negative 109 degrees, 109.3 degrees Fahrenheit. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, the cool thing about dry ice is it does, you know, normally there's 3 different states of matter. There is a gas, a liquid, and a solid. And usually when you have a solid, it melts, and it, like if you had a piece of ice here on the table, and it would melt and you'd have a pile of water. The cool thing about dry ice is it doesn't melt. It goes straight from a solid to a gas. So what happens is I've got warm water, and I just put different colors in it, okay? And I got warm water, and I've got the dry ice right here in my bowl. Now you can see it's kind of frozen the bottom of my metal bowl. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now what I did is I took a hammer and I made it into smaller pieces. Can you hear that? When it hits the metal, it makes a funny noise. Now, you cannot touch dry ice with your bare hands. It will give you frostbite. So what we do is I've made it, I've taken a pair of tongs and some gloves. Now I didn't have any cool, really science lab type gloves, so I just have a couple of pairs of gloves. But I'm not going to touch the ice with my bare hands. And if I put it in there, it starts bubbling up. It's basically boiling, okay? Now I have a couple of small pieces here that I can put in this little bitty vase. Well, that one won't fit. I gotta find some small pieces that will fit. Okay. And when I put that in there, well, it doesn't fit. There we go. And it starts bubbling too. So that's kind of cool. Now, I haven't done this experiment before, but I do have a bottle of hot water. Okay, and I'm going to put some food coloring in it. It makes it cooler. Now, the neat thing is you can touch the smoke that this carbon dioxide does, okay? Now, carbon dioxide is the same stuff that gives drinks their fizziness, okay? So now we got our green water, and I'm going to take some dry ice and pop it in there. And there it goes. It starts bubbling right away. Okay, so I'm going to put some more in there. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Alright, now, this is just the carbon dioxide that's coming off. Now you can, it says you can make a balloon. Now I didn't have a balloon, so I'm going to put this glove, and it's going to fill up my glove with carbon dioxide. So I can make my hand wave. Okay, so see, it's bubbling, and it's filling up. Here it goes. I'm going to let it go, see what happens. So that's kind of cool. It made my glove fly off. Okay. Now, this will go until the dry ice basically goes away, or the water gets too cold. Now, these waters, I had heated them up, and now they're starting to get a little bit cold. You know, the dry ice will melt anything. So there we go. Isn't that cool? Now, the process by which a carbon dioxide goes from a solid to a gas is called sublimation. It does not melt into a liquid, like I said. Okay, so we have our dry ice, and I'm going to add a little bit more to this little bitty tiny one. To make it bubble a little bit more. Now, we're going to use the same one. This is the one that we made the rubber glove expand. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of dish soap. Okay. I'm going to shake it up a little bit. And I'm going to add my dry ice. Watch what happens when I add my dry ice. So it's going to start bubbling. But the cool thing is, now I have the soap in there. So watch what comes out. Now I'm going to have a bubble tower. So I'm making bubbles. So the more you add in, the bigger your tower will get. We're just making dry ice bubbles. You can play with them. Okay, they work just like regular bubbles. This is almost like our bubble snakes that we made, except we don't have to do any work for it. Okay, we just have to let it come out. Now let me remind you, dry ice does give you frostbite when you touch it, so you can never touch it with your bare hands. This is something you always need to have gloves and adult supervision. You see a lot of times dry ice at Halloween because people will put it in their jack-o'-lanterns, or they'll put it in their punch and it'll bubble and bubble. It is, if you had it in a glass of like apple juice, once all the bubbling stops, it'll make it kind of carbonated, which is, like I said, that's how they make our fizzy drinks fizzy. But you would be able to drink it after all the bubbling stops, okay? So we've got all of our bubbles. I wonder if I added more, how big? Oh, I put one too big. Here goes our bubbles again. Let's see if I got some more little pieces for this. Oops. I'm having trouble getting that little piece without touching it. Here it comes. So I got a whole lot of bubbles going on right here.